Welcome back to the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast. My name is John.
My name is Dante.
What up? What's going on?
Good morning.
Before we get too deep into this, I want you to know that this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring today's episode. We're going to hear more from them by the somewhere in the show.
Yeah, somewhere. You'll see it. You'll hear it.
We have a big week. This is another week of not going in order because we got
We go at our own pace.
we got Roman and Cody, which we're going to go over for maybe 5 minutes because it was kind of
Very underwhelming. Yep.
We got Rock Cody.
Oh, you got it. That's gonna be the bulk of this episode. I think I already know what the title of the episode is gonna be.
I have it already. You know what
do
it
you?
is? Go ahead.
Rock,
Well, actually, you know what? Maybe not. Go ahead.
Rock makes Cody bleed.
So that's the. You know how I do a two
titles. Is that
that's the second title?
the second title.
That's the second title.
Oh,
Because I have a question for you later.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it's the
Well, at least I got part of it.
You got part of it. You got the
right.
second
He
part.
did make him bleed.
Did make him bleed. We're so back. Yeah, and then we're going over the Punk, Seth, Drew Unhinged promo.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Cool.
But before we get carried away, a couple things. One, we got merch.
Yes, we do.
Shop.clutchpoints.com. Link in the description. Probably link in the comments. It's this hoodie I'm wearing with the mustache moi on the back and the beanie
right there.
If you haven't gotten yourself something, it's still freezing cold out. Apparently,
pouring. It was pouring rain and windy this morning, so definitely use it.
Second, we talked a lot before the pod. We got our match coming up.
Yes, we do.
We got our match coming up March 30th, this Saturday, Widowmaker Brewery.
Our pro wrestling debut.
In Braintree, Massachusetts. If you're around, come with your
support
signs.
Your boys. Yes, come support your boys.
Stan. See you Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see you Saturday.
I didn't have a promo or anything ready, but see you Saturday.
Listen, we have a few more hours of training under our belt. We have, we're a bit more confident going into Saturday. Some of us are more sore than others.
Still.
But man, I am ready to go. I'm pumped. I'm fired up. Saturday's going to be awesome. If you're around, be there. Support your boys.
We're not giving you any spoilers. We're not letting you know what we've been training or what sort of moves we're looking at or whatever.
Not sharing that.
Kind of like whatever. Even if you want to call it kayfabe off. We have a wrestling match on Saturday. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more people there than I would like there to be supporting me.
But yeah, back to the wrestling match thing. Yes. I was talking to my dad, and first of all, so we trained in this to give you a lay of the land of where we trained. We trained in the fucking.
It was the grind, baby. It was the grind.
It was in this warehouse, up a set of stairs, through two doorways. You take
every
a right.
Step you take,
go
you think
through
the
another.
floorboard's gonna break. I don't know if you used the bathroom there. No water in the toilet. There was a red Solo cup in there. I just pissed on the cup. I don't know where to go.
What Brian said, I think, really rang true. It was exactly where you would have an underground rave. Where you don't want anyone knowing, you don't.
No one's getting caught in there. You could have had homeless people living in there, and they wouldn't find them.
But
I loved it though.
It was sick.
It was just
that's what I
not
wanted.
what I imagined, but I think what we needed.
Yeah,
it was no heat or nothing. It was
it was
fucking freezing cold. Brian's you can only imagine what this is like in the wintertime. That's fair. But yeah, no, it was a humbling experience. I think it's a good word for it.
My biggest thing, so I was talking, my dad's older, so he's a big old school guy. One of his favorite wrestlers, Killer Kowalski. So there is a wrestling school in New England called I'm gonna get it wrong, but shout out them, New England Wrestling Academy or something.
Sure. And
that's where Sasha Banks trained, Mercedes Moné trained, and a handful of people trained. Killer Kowalski also trained Triple H and whatever. So there's a lot of history, a lot of roots in New England with pro wrestling. So my dad's always known about this Killer Kowalski school, and I wasn't sure if that's where we were going to train. Turned out that's not where we were going to train. But I was mentioning that to Brian, and I got the sense of if there's a wrestling ring anywhere within the New England or even Massachusetts, whatever, Killer Kowalski has touched it.
Sure.
Because there were signed pictures of Killer Kowalski, and I don't know if I'm not sure if you caught this, but did you notice? I didn't even know it till Brian told me. There's this purple folding chair that was sitting over like kind of near the wall. Did you see that?
I can't picture it right now, but maybe I did.
So Brian's showing me footage, and he hits it with his shoulder. He knocks it off, and he goes like, Killer Kowalski's chair. I was like, what? And he picks it up, and he like kind of dusts it off, and he goes, which I don't know if I don't know if he's just pulling my leg. I'm kind of just giving it the benefit of the doubt because I like the story. But he goes like, oh yeah, this is like when Killer Kowalski got too old to like really be in the ring or whatever. He would still train people, but he would sit down and coach. That's how he coached Triple H. He coached Triple H sitting down. He said this chair is Killer Kowalski's chair. Then he sat down and trained Triple H and whatever.
That's crazy. That's cool.
I don't know if he's lying to me.
Triple H was
I don't
in
know.
Everett, Massachusetts training.
I don't know.
Yeah, hey, you never know. People
that was
like
my coolest thing of like seeing that history. That's what my dad was like all hyped out about too. I sent him pictures and he was like, which my dad even said like, you know, I bet you, my dad can be pretty sentimental sometimes, and he was like, hey, you might not have been in the school, but you know, I'll bet you a piece of him was still in there. A piece of Killer Kowalski was like watching you guys.
A little bit of his blood was on that mat.
Well, maybe physically and spiritually.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool,
cool
thing to be a part of in history, be a part of, and like the Killer Kowalski lore and all
like
that,
you
know?
said, like if there's a ring and stuff like that in the New England area, I mean, these guys, they could have trained in a million different places. You know, it's like one day you could be working at this warehouse, the next day you could be training at this warehouse,
wherever you can get the time.
You just kind of jump around like wherever you're able to get the time. And like you said, so that place that we went to, 100%. I mean, I definitely believe that story for sure. I think that's a lot of these places, believe it or not, whether it looks like a shithole or not, has a lot of history to it. So,
most places that have that look like that do.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, that was my like main takeaway. It hit me the other day talking to my dad. I'm just like, oh wow, this Saturday we're gonna fulfill like a childhood dream. Like no one gets to do this. I'm just like, you know, and we're not athletes.
We don't take it for granted either.
Absolutely.
We understand like the paths that were paved by these people, and like, you know, we try to pay our respects and pay our dues and stuff when we do this. So we have a ton of respect for it. But yeah, it's very cool. Like
it's surreal
knowing that we're doing
we're gonna
the
have
same thing or stepping in the ring, same one maybe that like, you know, legends may have been in same buildings and such. It's very cool.
So yeah, really dream come true moment. We're already 13 minutes in. We're gonna get to the show.
Yeah, don't worry.
But you know,
skip through.
None of this. No, don't skip. Listen to
what we're saying. Okay.
None of this. It goes without saying, but none of this would be possible. We wouldn't be able to have this opportunity to again. We're gonna have a wrestling match without you guys, without the listeners, without the supporters, without everyone out there. So we appreciate it, and I think I put it out on the Stache Club Instagram and my Instagram. There is a link. You can watch this live.
Oh, there's a live stream?
Watch this live.
I know the last time they didn't have a live stream.
Yes, let me just do that now. Streaming live this week on IWTV.
I hate that we're front and center in that.
I don't know why.
Ridiculous.
It's the first time you've seen this?
No, this is the first time I've said it to you. I hate it. I hate it. No, I hate it.
I don't know why.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Thanks, whoever made this.
Insane.
Respect.
So, independentwrestling.tv. I'm pretty sure you gotta pay for it, but like, hey, you know, support the support. Anyway,
all right, hell yeah.
Enough about that. Let's get to the actual.
That's like what
show,
the pros here. Let's talk about WWE.
Cody Roman promo. Kind of breezing over this. It was a so-so promo. It was after I think what was 10 or 15 minutes of entrances and commercials. They got 10 minutes to go over it real quick. It was basically Roman calling Cody Rhodes stupid in 15 different ways. Cody says the last ones to beat the Shield was the Rhodes family. Cody's last like mic drop moment, it wasn't a home run. Grain of salt with this too. I think we've rarely, unless my memory precedes me, all of these promo battles, whether it's Rock Cody, Roman Cody, just the Rock, just the Roman, whatever. I think with this build, we've rarely, within the last few months, we've rarely sat here and been like, damn, that was a weak promo. Damn, The Rock didn't deliver. Damn, didn't. This is like the first
this
one.
This is the first one that let me down.
You know, which I think is fine. They can't all be bangers,
right?
So but I think
I think this promo battle.
This was tough.
It was supposed to be the promo battle.
You're right.
Listen, this match, I get it. We're doing the whole Rock, and we've talked about it. We probably will talk about it again. The Rock's new to this. You got to give him the spotlight to really like throw him into the story and stuff like that, because he's been missed out for the last.
My opinion
few years.
from last week is like totally different now.
Okay.
From what,
I'm sure we'll get into that when we talk about The Rock. But like, this was such a hyped up promo, and it was very underwhelming.
It was.
Because like you said, and The Rock's kind of done this too, but like Roman just said something and then kept saying it a different way a few different times. And The Rock has done that. He kept calling Seth the clown face emoji and stuff.
That wasn't great.
So it's actually funny because I was with Taylor and we were watching the videos together, because I was like, I need to watch like the recap after, and she was like with me and she was like watching it too, and she kept saying like, how many times are you gonna call him a clown face emoji? And then like whenever we talk about it, she goes, oh, is he talking about that clown face emoji? Because he said it so many times. But
that's like kind of the test too, like with a person that is either a casual fan or like doesn't really watch it, and they pick up on like, you know,
saying it a lot,
right? It's like that's so, the tell.
And then like Roman was saying like, you're stupid, blah 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 blah, and then he kind of was hypocritical, like saying like, because then he said to Cody, you're saying promos like you're just changing it up, because like he was saying what you said to The Rock, like, oh, like aren't you like, are you the final boss? Like something with the tribal chief, and then flipped it on Roman. I forget what the wording was exactly. But years ago, because he's like, you're number 2, and you're my favorite number 2, whatever. Years ago, I don't know if anyone else thought about this, but this is what I thought of. In the pandemic, in 2020 Survivor Series, Roman Drew McIntyre, when they faced off, he called Drew his favorite number 2. He goes, you'll always be number 2, but my favorite number 2. So I'm like, okay. I was like, just to be fair, like you're kind of doing callbacks and repeating things from old promos. Yeah. I get it. Years ago, different opponent, but
it's a pretty easy one. If you're the top guy, it's an easy one-liner to say.
And it works here. It works here. But like this promo was supposed to like really, this was supposed to be a promo, and it would be hard to, but at least keep your hype levels the same level or bring it up or not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it brought me down, but like it was a letdown for sure.
Because I don't know. Because I know within Raw and SmackDown coming up, there's a few more shows.
Right.
I know we're getting The Rock. Maybe something will get scheduled, but we don't know if we're getting another straight up Roman Cody.
Right.
You know, so you're right.
Maybe the Friday before, but who knows?
Who knows? And then you would think like the Friday before, you would think that's going to involve Seth and Roman and Rock too. I see their names.
Did you see Roman and Rock are going to be on Jimmy Fallon? I think
really?
It is the Friday. It might actually the 3rd, whenever the 3rd is.
Okay. Interesting.
So, it's Wednesday. Okay, so it's a few days before. But people are like, if Cody and Seth showed up or something like that, like sick. Really carried it over, that would be fucking sick. But yeah, no, because The Rock will be on Raw. They already announced that. I mean, Roman's got to show up at least the Friday before. I don't know if he'll be there tomorrow, and maybe the Raw. But yeah, I don't know if we'll see another Cody Roman one-on-one, which kind of is disappointing, because if this was the one time we're going to see it, you would hope that this would have been a little bit better, but so be it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what's announced for.
They're really saving the best promos for Cody Rock. That's all I'm saying. They're really saving all the heat for those two.
So the promo wraps up like you said. I'm not number 2. I'm the one. Fine.
Yeah, it's like, but how many times have we heard that? Yeah. Any good guy versus bad guy feud? You know what I mean? Like, it's not a mic drop. It's a line.
It wasn't Cody's best. It definitely wasn't Roman's best.
No.
And Roman, it felt like we reverted back to a Roman promo of like 4 years ago.
This wasn't even about Cody and Roman. It was about Seth, really, because it was about Roman. Like, can you trust Seth? So the promo was really centered around like trusting. It was like you were. Yeah, I don't know.
Which, granted, like, I'm glad we didn't get, because they could have gone the route of just saying more like, you're not going to finish your story and something about your dad. Like,
yeah, at least they strayed away from that. But yeah,
At the end, Jimmy and Solo show up.
Surprise, surprise.
Jay and Seth show up.
Surprise, surprise.
No beatdown, just like a stare down thing. SmackDown goes off the air. Kind of just a weird ending to a SmackDown
I feel like that
where expectations were higher. You know?
Like that didn't need to happen too. I feel like everyone coming out.
It ended up making no. I like the visual. I saw someone tweet this, and I think I agree with it. This segment was solely for the video package. Because they needed, they needed clips of Cody and Roman staring at each other. They needed clips of the two teams. They just needed clips and footage to put
Roman
in the video
doing
package.
the snap.
Sure,
you know that's gonna show up in a video somewhere.
So
yeah, I mean, I guess it's like, oh, like this showed that you can't trust Roman, but Cody has his number. He knows that he's got something up his sleeve. But I don't know, just. This was all over the place.
Before we get to that next topic, we want to take a quick moment to tell you that this video is sponsored by BetterHelp.
If I had an extra hour of my day, I would spend it focusing on myself physically or mentally, whether that be spending more time in the gym or focusing on my mental well-being by taking more time for myself.
If you had more time every day, how would you spend it? A lot of us spend our lives wishing we had more time. But for what? Do you know what's important to you? Without knowing, how do we know how to prioritize our time? Whether you already know what you want to do or not, therapy is a great place to work through challenges you face in figuring things out. Find out what matters most to you and gear up towards it. No matter the size of your goal in life, seeking help through therapy can empower you to take control of your mindset to achieve what you've set yourself out to achieve. It can help you develop skills for your personal wellness, which in turn will influence the way you tackle day-to-day obstacles. There's no shame in seeking help when navigating through the challenges of life. Take full control of your thought life. Trust me, it'll be worth it. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, convenient, and very accessible. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a licensed therapist. You can also switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Learn to make time for what makes you happy with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/stash today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/stash. We appreciate BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. And now back to the show, huh? We're going over to Raw now.
Let's talk about the big boys. Let's talk about the real.
So we're gonna talk about the promo at first, and we're gonna. I mean, I have like a whole page.
Oh yeah,
ready for this.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I have a lot on the Punk and
as you should.
Okay, Cody comes out, starts the show. Standard Cody promo. Standard Cody promo, but better than anything he said on Friday. He goes, "Although I respect you, Roman Reigns, please know that I hate your guts."
Please, no. He's so polite when he insults people.
I love the way he talks. The most babyface of babyface moves you can do. He gets the entire crowd to point at the WrestleMania sign with him. Everyone point with me. And the whole
cult leader
fucking unreal. It's one of the most babyface things I've ever
one of the
seen.
most ridiculous babyface.
It was
like he's
so
abusing his babyface power doing that.
It was so Hulk Hogan.
I've never seen that before.
It was so funny.
It was so good. And then perfect timing.
The Rock's music hits.
And can I say something? The way that they angled his entrance, him walking out, bro. Someone said he looked like Thanos. So I'm like, oh my God. How is Roman supposed to be the main guy in the story when they have him coming out like this?
They had his music hits. Surprise. No one knew he was going to be on Raw.
Crowd went crazy.
And then they had, I think it was also, it helped with like the, it being in Chicago. And I think they do a little bit of a different of a setup because they have the entrance.
It was like
closer.
The Survivor Series entrance. Yep.
So, like you said, they had the shot, and Cody is standing there, and The Rock is just a silhouette walking out with the fucking lightning. So sick.
They talk about like how and obviously The Rock is The Rock, but you give someone an entrance like this, and you make them feel like a god. Between the song and the entrance alone, that just took The Rock to levels that I didn't think we were gonna get to. It's amazing.
There is a conversation we had. I don't know if it's for today, but it's the most back wrestling has ever been. I would say, or at least it's most exciting in the mainstream.
Sure.
Grain of salt. It is Mania season and all this stuff, and you look at the promo we had on Friday with Roman and Cody, and we're gonna talk about something about this, but it again kind of gives to the fact of how the star power, because The Rock shows up like that. There's no one else on the roster that can elicit that sort of aura, that sort of pop. Again, he's a legend. It's a 90s era thing. He's The Rock, whatever. But in the 90s, guys like Stone Cold and The Rock were getting those pops and reactions on a daily or a weekly, whatever. It's just I don't know what conversation there is to have, but it is just there's a little something. And it's the pessimist in me, if that's even the right word, of like, damn, this big pop and this excitement and what people are calling one of the best endings to Raw in years is because of The Rock. And they can only do that with a guy like The Rock.
But, I think this has been something that has been like in conversation for a while now. I think honestly it probably has been since like The Rock and Stone Cold like left and stuff, because you're right, like there are the only other people I can think of that can get a reaction like that was Hulk Hogan before things happened. Now he doesn't get that reaction anymore. John Cena, I think, depending on like if it's like his Money in the Bank return against Roman was like one of the biggest pops you'll ever hear in your life.
It is also because like people have been away. Like if John Cena did a similar return like that, he'd get a similar 100%. So it is because like they've been away. So like I get all that too. But and
then I guess in this day and age, Roman Reigns would get like as close as what you can get to their pop. I mean, comparatively, like he gets the biggest pop out of anyone today, maybe besides Cody or something like that. But not anywhere near Rock Stone. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like, I'm with you. In this day and age, he gets the biggest reaction. I think that's kind of been an issue that like people have definitely been like, it's true. I mean, like between just not building up star power, and I will say, like now that we're in this new age, people are calling it the Renaissance era, which I kind of like.
I've seen that.
I think now is we're in a time where we're gonna see more stars built up.
I hope so.
And I'm not like, I don't want to talk about him or anything like that, but the people that were in charge beforehand definitely were holding things back. Kind of like, you're caught up in. You still think wrestling is like it was in the 90s, and you're out of touch with things, I guess is the right saying.
Now, I think a big thing with that too is they didn't want to build up. They wanted WWE to be the star, not the individuals to be the stars.
And I think we're getting into a day and age where we're run by new ownership. I think they have, we could go off all the young and up and coming stars that are going to be stars one day that have that potential. Like just Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker, just 1 and 2 right there. I agree. I think they're in a spot right now where The Rock, his name and stuff like that is helping make wrestling great again. I think wrestling was great before he came back, but he gave it that extra jolt, that extra little push.
And that's all I'm saying is like,
it's true.
We're seeing this resurgence, and and I'm seeing people on Twitter tweeting that never do. And again, I get it's all because nostalgia, and it's The Rock, and he's like the biggest movie star in the world, and whatever. Helps. But I think there is a little bit of like it's getting all this praise, but it almost sucks. That's like, it's getting all this praise, but because it's on the back of the one of the greatest of all time.
And too, it's like it's a good. You can look at it that way, and you can look at it this way too. It's like The Rock is bringing more eyes to the product, and
absolutely.
those eyes might stick around even when The Rock leaves. So it's like
that's like I don't.
He's getting his $30 million. He's getting his money's worth from TKO. That's for sure.
I definitely want to be clear that I don't think it's a net negative.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
even a negative at all. Like that's not what I really came into it with. It's a bad thing. More so, it's just like something to note, just interesting. And I think they can I think more so now with new guys, because it's like it's gonna be a different era with like a Carmelo and Braun, like you said. But I think there is potential to work stars back up now that The Rock is putting it back in the mainstream like that. Take advantage of that.
They can elevate everything else with it.
I think you can make like Roman and Cody are the closest.
Yep.
I think they can get granted, like let's say Cody's out for 4 years, right? Cody makes a surprise return on Raw. I think Cody is getting a pretty close reception to, you know what I mean?
That was going to blow the roof off the place.
You know, a lot of it is all based on a week-to-week thing and a new person and a star you haven't seen. So, like,
now let me ask you a question. Because this is something I thought about, and I actually thought it makes sense why it happened the way it did, and like The Rock's the one that beat down Cody and stuff. But would you think, people are saying it's the best ending of the Raw in years? Mm-hmm. Would you think that would be the same statement if you replaced The Rock with Roman?
No.
Well,
no, because
okay, go ahead.
No, because I think content wise, yes. Mm-hmm. I think of wrestling fans and of people that watched Raw that night, they'd be like, that was one of the best, that was great, da-da-da. I don't think it would have bled out, no pun intended,
become more mainstream and stuff if it wasn't for The Rock.
Yeah. Gotcha. So like, I guess I kind of take back my knee jerk no, but I think it being The Rock helped it expand more and made it bigger.
Yeah.
But if it was Roman, I still think wrestling fans would say yes, it is. So that makes sense.
Yeah, no. So I think if you replace the people and just like Roman makes him bloody, does all this stuff, I think wrestling wise, it still goes down. It's like that's one of the best endings we've seen in a little bit.
Yeah.
Because also like Roman's like, now Roman's the villain. It's like this is what we need to see from Roman, right? Mm-hmm. But you're right. The Rock has that star power, that level where it's like he's been posting about it on Instagram and stuff where it's like, because of him, it's going to garner more attention, more attraction. I don't know if you saw my quote tweet the other day, but there was and a few other people were quote tweeting it. This person goes at WWE, like, I can't watch your product anymore. What I just saw The Rock do was so bad. Like my husband had to turn off the channel and stuff. Like blood on TV. What do we do? Like, and people like back, wrestling baby. Is so fucking back, man. You know. So it's The Rock is like the reason why people are saying that shit. I love it. So yeah, I do. So going back to what I was asking, I agree with you. I think that if you replace the people, wrestling-wise, wrestling fans, that's still fucking dope. Love that we saw that, but The Rock took it to that next level.
I think with that too, it helps people who have maybe been away for a while or whatever, helps people come back and kind of connect. Kind of like what you were saying with like people are gonna, you know, hopefully come back and stay. But it being The Rock and not Roman brings people back. It's more name recognition, and then like you said, like people are like, you know, oh, what the hell? Like there's blood and whatever. If it was just Roman,
right?
I don't think it would have been like that. Like there wouldn't have been that connection of like we're back because Roman's now with it being The Rock and The Rock did that. Now it's like, oh, we're back to The Rock's era.
You could have not watched wrestling in 15, 20 years. Mm-hmm. You go on Twitter, you see The Rock in the rain, in that bloody Cody Rhodes and stuff like that. You're gonna be like, oh fuck, this is what we're doing again, and you're tuned back in. Yeah. If people saw that with Roman, it wouldn't have that same feel, that same like that need to go back and watch it. So just something I thought of.
I also think too, if it was Roman in place of The Rock, again, wrestling fans thing, but then this is obvious, but there would be a thing of like, because imagine if Roman was the one to make him bleed and give him that intensity and the Mama Rhodes stuff.
Yeah.
Then I think there'd be, again, with wrestling fans, it'd be a lot of like, oh, Roman is just leveled up.
Right, 100%.
So maybe you could argue maybe Roman needed that.
Yeah.
But I think I'm not really saying that.
It really depends on how you want to look at it. You can look at it from just the wrestling standpoint or the business standpoint. That's kind of, and I think Roman's already at a level where it's like, though, if he had those lines, it would take him up another level. But like, what's more valuable? Him being put up, because he's so high up. It's like, that would put him up, but by how much? It's like this with The Rock.
More so in the story. I think it would give him that intensity in the story. Mainly I'm just thinking
and
like,
he needs it.
It would have been better than the Friday promo.
You could have split it up a little bit. Maybe the Roman could have taken a few of. Maybe he could have taken the clown emoji line from him or something like that.
The whole time I was watching that though, because everyone was there. Seth was on the show. Punk was on the show and mentioned The Rock. Which granted, maybe it would have been too stuffed. Where would he have fit in? I think they could have fit him in. I think Roman needed to be on that Raw. Why was Roman not on that Raw?
It was a star-studded Raw. Yeah. He should be on every show.
You know
I know. I'm with you.
Why was he? I get he's a SmackDown guy and who gives a shit? Whatever. Cody was on SmackDown.
That's it. No, none of that. Yeah.
But
I agree. He needs to be there. I don't know if he's advertised for tomorrow, but
I have no clue. I tried to look for it real quick, but I don't know.
No.
So yeah, The Rock enters the ring. Just to kind of wrap it up and move on to like the actual beatdown. Rock enters the ring. Whispers something in Cody's ear that we now know is, tonight I'm going to make you bleed.
Bro, the detectives on Twitter for those two and a half hours.
We needed those fucking NFL lip readers.
They were like, I think I know what he said. He said something about Mama Road. It's just like never.
He said Moana 2 out in theaters next
You're
month.
welcome. Yeah. People had all different lines.
Yeah, so he just came in
hard.
with that entrance, whispered that, bounced.
Hard, and he just walks out like that, and just the reaction he gets from saying nothing. Oh my God.
The Rock is asked later on in the show what he said to Cody. He says he's not going to tell you. You got to ask Cody.
Ask Cody.
Cody says later on, Cody gets asked. He says, I'm not going to repeat what The Rock said. Whatever, and blah, blah. So, end of the night. We're going to talk about like the ending match and all that later, but end of the night, we're backstage. The Rock is beating the shit out of Cody Rhodes.
Fucking tar out of Cody Rhodes.
Like we said.
Taking the trash can and chucking it on his head is the funniest shit.
Because I was rewatching it when I do the write-up. Sometimes I'll rewatch like clips and stuff, especially like promos and to get like quotes and whatever. And they did their like pause cut when he chucked the trash can at his head. They cut that out of the YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a headshot.
You know? But like we said, people are considering this, and I am also considering this, one of the best endings to Raw.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, because we'll get into the rest of Raw later, but one of the best Raws
in a while.
In the past like 5 or 6 years.
It's gotta be up there.
Oh my God, what a Raw.
From start to finish.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was so paced out so well.
You would think you were watching an episode of SmackDown.
Yeah, 3-hour episode of SmackDown. Yeah, no, it was a great episode.
Make people real mad. Raw was so good, you would think you were watching an episode of Dynamite.
Oh no. People were really comparing the two. After the show. But yeah.
Oh, were they? I was just saying.
Oh yeah, they were like, they're bleeding and they're doing all this stuff. Very AEW-esque. It's like, AEW invented blood. AEW invented blood. Come on.
So I'm always glad how non-tribalist this show is, because like it's so fucking annoying.
It is so fucking, dude. It's like people can bleed, people can do what they want. Doesn't mean that they're trying to be like the other. Stupid. Like, come on. But anyways, I also, so they take it outside and stuff like that. I just want to say the fact that it was raining and stuff like that just made it a million times better. Just the image of Cody bleeding and the water hitting the Rock's
even before that
body.
Taking a step back, we get the second they open the door, you realize it's raining. He throws him out. He's like still in the doorway talking shit. Rain coming down. They go out. Cody's on his hands and knees. Now he's like drenched and whatever. As even like the shot of, he has him by the fucking whatever you want to call it. I thought he was going to toss him over into the river or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's got him over there. And just the shot of like he's fucking holding them. Rain coming down. Cody's soaking wet. It's almost as if the rain is avoiding the Rock.
It's going right on Cody.
It was just the most super villain fucking shit.
The aura, bro.
Ever.
The aura. He definitely feels like the final boss. I'll put it that way, 100%.
So yeah, he's whipping trash cans at his head, like you said.
Smacking it around.
He's casually just dropping like, I'm gonna beat the. He's dropping shit. He's dropping fuck. Like, dude, just saying swears and who gives a shit and da-da-da.
This is what happens when you fuck with the final boss. He said. Everyone in the crowd's like, oh.
So
shit.
I think I know. This is a very you note. While during the beatdown, while he's like over the fucking riverway or whatever, whose images were on the trucks there. No. John Cena and Stone Cold
put on the aluminum foil hats.
We're on the production.
Put
truck.
on the tin hats. Listen, man.
Who else is there to save? What other Avengers? What other Avengers are missing other than Cena and The Rock? And Stone Cold.
I hate how much I'm looking into this because, all right, here's the thing.
That's what I mean. This is a you note.
John Cena makes sense. History with Roman, whatever. The whole Avengers, people from his past coming in, 100%. Stone Cold is just wacky.
But it would be
because of how wacky it is, it's like, but him and The Rock are rivals. Yeah, I get that, but it has nothing to do with it. But because of how out of left field it is, I love it. I want it.
we can bring this all not to because I love it. I want to preface it all, but I love it. But let's take it all the way back to what if this year's WrestleMania ends with a fucking Stone Cold and The Rock stare down?
It
would be amazing. Yeah. But you know what I mean with it goes back to the whole thing about the star power and what two stars could do that. No one else but them.
And
whatever.
like I get it, like it's you can justify it. Like you have all these people coming back to end the reign of terror of Roman Reigns or whatever. It's like I want it to be cinema. Like I think this match, Cody. I'm not like the tag team match is gonna be great. I'm talking Cody and Roman. Mm-hmm. It is gonna be at this point. We haven't given predictions yet, but I'm in the camp that's gonna be the Bloodline rules. I think it's just gonna be that. That's what I'm thinking right now. So. It is gonna
why even mention it if they're not gonna have it?
100%. It's like this match is gonna be all out chaos. Mm-hmm. Like at this point, like the more the merrier. Like bring out everyone. Sign guys to 1-day deals that aren't in the company anymore. Bring them back. Like I mean, I'm
definitely in the camp. I want Cody to win fairly clean, decisive.
I think we're long past that. John, we talked about this a few weeks ago, and I was saying the same thing. We are so past that at this point. There is no way he's winning without any sort of shenanigans.
It's gonna be
impossible.
Seth's gonna hit him with a stomp. Jay's gonna hit him with a spear. Cena's gonna hit him with an AA. Stone Cold's gonna hit him with a stunner. Who else am I missing?
The Rock's gonna do some shit. Paul Heyman might hit a rock.
The Rock's gonna turn and hit a rock.
Paul
bottom.
Heyman might get hit with it.
Pat McAfee's getting up from commentary.
Roman Reigns goes to spear. Cody moves out of the way. Spears Paul Heyman. Oh my god! There is a literal 0.001% chance that Cody wins clean at WrestleMania. It's not happening. But like,
I know.
But it's gonna work. It's gonna work. It'll work.
That's why I'm like. You have to go fully on either side. You either have decisive,
squeaky clean,
fucking squeak,
or everyone's involved.
or have Cena and The Rock. You know, because if it's like, or I keep mixing up Cena and Stone Cold. Mm-hmm. If it's like somewhere in the middle, as cool as it would be, I wouldn't want Cena and Stone Cold.
You need commitment.
If they do it wrong, it could very easily be like, damn, that was cheesy. They really just threw everyone into this match. Mm-hmm. Like if they just don't nail the shenanigans.
Right.
If they nail the shenanigans,
this is an all-time WrestleMania. Best closing to WrestleMania ever.
I think it's going to be crazy.
We have this isn't predictions and any of that stuff, but yeah, I am.
Predictions are next week, right?
They are next week. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's crazy. Holy shit!
It came up quick.
So yeah, Rock's beating him up. Excuse me. Rock's beating him up, throwing him up against Cody's own bus.
Yep.
Final one throws him up
his
against
head right next to Pharaoh where his dog is. I don't know if that was intentional, but that's funny.
Throws him up against it. The final time, Rock's talking shit into the camera while Cody while Cody can blade or whatever he does. He looks over. This was my favorite part. He walks over, notices Cody's bleeding. The crowd sees he's bleeding. The reaction. Rock with like half a laugh goes, the prophecy has come true. The prophecy has come true.
The 2.5 hour prophecy has come true.
The prophecy has come true. It's Cody's busted open.
We were saying it, dude. We've talked about this a long time ago, but Cody bleeding in that white hair, bro.
He's the best bleeder.
My God.
People are gonna. I know.
No one comes.
I know there's a Ric Flair. I know there's a Terry Funk or whatever. I'm also just kind of being silly. He's the best bleeder.
With that blonde hair, dude. It's perfect. The prophecy.
The Rock takes his own weight belt, this nice white Rock weight belt. Keeps on going, Mama Rose.
Mama Rose.
Sometimes he was just saying it. He wasn't even saying. He was just going, Mama Rose.
He had to be reset. He was just repeating things.
Takes Cody's blood. He's wiping it on the shit. He goes, Mama Rose. And then, like you said, the final line. This is what happens when you with the final boss.
So good.
Weight belt all bloody. Cody laying there in the rain, bloody. Thank God it was raining. If it was raining, it would have taken away. It would have been great.
It added so much to it. He's like, the bell goes, your son's blood, your tears. Oh my God, dude. It's so fucking good. So good.
So here's the big question. Here's the episode title. Is The Rock overshadowing Roman Reigns in this Mania build? And is it on purpose?
Short answer, yes. I don't think it's on purpose, though.
Okay.
I do think that the reason why he's getting all this spotlight is the last 4 years, almost 4 years, it's been about Roman. We know Roman's story. We know everything. The Rock's being introduced to everything. He's only been around for less than 2 months. Like, they're kind of like really, they're doing it like full, like fast, very quickly, but they're just throwing him into the story and just giving him all this ammunition, all this like whatever. Because at the end of the day, the match that closes WrestleMania is Roman Cody. And we've talked about this. Roman Cody, we built up last year. We know what this is all about, right? So
see,
it's like,
I'm not even with that anymore.
Does that mean that they don't have to build it up more and add to it? No. But what I'm saying is like, it's Roman Cody too. Right. We've seen it before. We know what Cody's there to do. We know what Roman's defending.
Yeah.
The Rock is, although it's The Rock, he is the new character in all of this. So it's like, that's why I believe he's getting most of the attention and Roman's kind of taking a back seat. Now, we still have 3 shows left until Mania. So all of this could change. I mean, I know it's only 3 shows, but it could change. But yeah, no, I definitely do. Like, if, again, a casual fan watches the end of that show, you think that at WrestleMania, it's The Rock versus Cody Rhodes.
Absolutely.
And that is a fact. If I showed Taylor that video, she would say, oh, so when are they fighting? I guarantee you.
Right.
So
that's the problem
that's why I think the biggest problem is they're making people believe that there's a different match happening.
Because I was, like, last week, I was way more in that camp of, like, The Rock's new. We know what Roman Cody is, blah, blah. But that was before the shitty Friday Night SmackDown promo. And that was before The Rock made one of the greatest Raw endings of all time. So, like, yes, obviously he is overshadowing Roman, but now I think it's too much. And the only reason I put in on purpose, because people are speculating, like, is it on purpose in terms of, like, it's a tribal chief thing? Is it all on, like, are they going to use the fact that, you know, Roman has been overshadowed by The Rock as, like, you know, someone turns on someone? Like, is it, because, like, if it's not on purpose, then it is just straight up, like, it's billed for the wrong match.
Okay, hold on, time out. So when you say on purpose, will you mean like storyline on purpose? Like this?
Yeah.
I thought you meant like behind the scenes, like The Rock is
no.
Okay.
No.
So let me change my answer. Do I think it's on purpose? I actually kind of in the middle and in between. But I do believe that, like, Rock and Roman are fighting at next year's WrestleMania.
Right.
The cat's out of the bag. It's happening. Okay.
I mean, Cody and Rock gotta fight straight up eventually.
That would be they're leaving money on the table if they don't do that.
Because this build, like, we've been dancing around.
This has to lead to a one-on-one match between these two eventually.
This Cody and Rock build has been miles better than the build to Roman Cody 2.
I agree with that.
And it's
100%.
like, I don't think the question is, like, is that a problem? Like, yes, on the one hand, you're not, you know, what main event is this hyping up? It's not hyping up Roman Cody.
And the night one, because I was just about to say, like, they're trying to hype up 2 main events.
Aren't they on the same night? Are they not on the same night?
No, it's night 1 is the tag team, night 2. So it's like they're trying to hype up two main events. And again, like Roman Cody, you already know what you have there. So they're really putting most of their eggs in one basket with the night, which they shouldn't be doing. I wish they, even if it was like 70-30 or something like that, like you need to split it a little bit better.
I don't disagree in terms of, like, we've seen it before, we know the story here, but I think one, because one is now outweighing the other by so much, but 2 also, like, it doesn't excuse, maybe I'm putting too much weight on, like, the SmackDown promo, because it wasn't awful.
Right.
But when you compare it to
what Rock and Cody did.
Agree.
No, I agree.
So it's like, I think while we already get it, it's already an established match, I think they could use, I don't know, I think they could use a little more. I think they're dropping the ball on it.
No,
honestly.
I think they're putting a lot more time into the tag team match than they are into the
I wouldn't even say, I mean, like, technically
not time, but they're putting all the they're using all their juice for the first match than the second one.
But more so, I would say it's even less of a tag match. It's just really Cody Rock.
Because in this case, Seth is definitely in the back here, and Roman
on
feels
the team.
like it seems like Seth is Cody's sidekick and Roman is Rock's sidekick in this situation.
Yeah, it's I weird.
Agree. Now, I also have another question for you because I've actually been seeing some people say this. Do you think this would have been better, this entire feud, if you take Seth out and replace him with Randy Orton?
Oh,
I've been seeing because it's kind of like Rock and Roman have their history, their family and stuff like that. Cody and Randy obviously have more of a history. I get Seth Roman, there's the history there and stuff.
We've also never seen, not that we've seen Seth Rock stuff, we've also never seen Randy Rock, to my knowledge.
They had this was when Evolution shit. They they technically did fight each other at WrestleMania. It was Evolution versus Rock and Sock. But this was like this 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So
which, like,
even
you can, like, I'm saying,
you can bring it back to that. Because, and again, like after Rock comes back and stuff, in the same time frame that you brought Seth into this, you could have brought Randy in, like whatever. And again, like this is obviously nothing you can do about it now. I have been seeing some people saying like, it would have been better if like it was a legit like someone that Cody has history with type of thing. But
I don't think so.
Just also, I think people are saying that because of how Seth feels in this feud, kind of like because he's also like in the middle of two things.
I think Randy would have felt more so the afterthought. Then I do like because this is like forever ago when we were talking like Randy Cody at Mania to do like I do love the legacy thing. I just don't think there's enough weight to it for it to add into this. I would love for Cody wins the belt at 40.
Next night,
he's gonna need some feuds.
Next night, I want Randy to turn on
next
him.
night, I was gonna say next pay-per-view, but next night. Well, I guess maybe the turn, but like they need to do the legacy Cody versus Randy.
For sure.
I don't know. I think that can be. That can be a separate thing.
That's just.
Why? What do you think?
I mean, in the sense of like you give Seth more time to focus on his actual match, like the World Championship match. I think you could, and it's like. I'm indifferent.
I think they played it.
No, you'd have to. It would be so different. Like the story would be so different.
I don't think it would be
involved.
Better necessarily, but like different. Yeah,
I think it. I think it still would be great. Yeah, but I think just like
because I think they really. I think. If I'm not wrong, I think I was critical about Seth being involved in this. But I think they really nailed.
No, it's gotten better the last few weeks. I mean? It has gotten better.
They're really with Drew playing on the fact that he's distracted and stretching himself too thin. They're making Shield references and like all this stuff. So I think, it makes a lot more sense and is way better.
Yeah,
and
once
we get that, I don't know who's start. Well, the Rock's not starting the match. Cody's not starting the match.
Roman Seth.
Roman Seth.
I
mean, we're gonna get that Roman Seth matchup.
First time in years. I know. That alone.
I think that's bigger than like Roman Randy.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with that. Yeah, just something.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I haven't heard that.
Thought about.
Okay. All right. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
long
that's a
show.
Lot.
See, I got
when I am halfway through Raw.
CM Punk, Drew, Seth.
Okay, let me tell you
what
something.
What a promo!
This was the highlight of the night.
Crazy.
The Rock and everything closed the show out amazing. This shit right here was.
You're putting this over the ending.
This was
over the ending.
Not all right.
Hey, I don't want to. Hey,
no, this was great.
Wow,
this was a classic.
Wow.
This was an all-time promo.
I have some problems with it.
Really? Okay,
it's not like it's not like real. It's interesting.
Let's talk about it.
Ultimately, I'm with you. Fantastic. First of all, I felt like the energy with this. The whole night felt like this, even with like the Ricochet JD match. The whole night and the ending, whatever. The whole night felt like. Here's what you're going to do.
Just go do it.
Do it and do it the best you can.
You got 15 minutes.
And they
give us...
All three of these men went, heard. Punk starts out. He's hyping up Chicago. He's dissing Seth here and there. He's dissing Drew. He mentions The Rock. He kind of says that The Rock has yet to... He's mentioned everyone else, but The Rock has yet to mention him. He reminds him that his arms are just too short to box with. God.
Amazing callback.
Whoa.
Amazing callback.
Whoa.
The Rock was shaking in his boots backstage when he heard that.
Drew's song hits. Punk goes, turn that stupid song off. Nobody wants to hear that. Broken Dreams coming in when?
It's got to happen.
Now I'm even thinking now I think we have less of a chance because now it's like now Punk doesn't like the song, so why would he give in to Punk?
Right. Drew has said like on social media and stuff, like people like stop asking me about it. Tweet at Triple H and shit.
I don't think it's a crazy thing to speculate. Maybe we get Broken Dreams at Mania. I don't think it's crazy.
At Clash of the Castle, they opened with it, and then it led to his current theme song. So it could be something like that too. I would love just the full one, but
Drew's making his way to the side of the ring. Punk says he's wearing his like new shirt, whatever, that says like the checklist with Punk's name on it. Punk says, Drew McIntyre, I ain't never had to put another man's name on a t-shirt to sell it. Which maybe an hour later, Twitter did prove false.
He has done that. He has done it. It's okay.
But
it's okay.
I like the line.
Still a bar. Still a bar.
Line.
I mean, Drew had 2 shirts on that were about Punk. So
what was the Punk had Heyman, and what was the other one? I saw one that said I'm a Heyman guy.
It was a Big Show one. It was like I forget what it was. It was his feud with the Big Show or something like that.
Drew says that Punk is his quote muse, and he sits cross-legged on the announce table, and he goes, "Don't shoot up my kilt, you perv." Again, they were just have fun,
shooting,
go out and
other.
have fun. I'm leaving out this a couple of points. I'm leaving out because it goes to a different topic later, but. Line of I think I'll agree with you. I don't think it's the segment of the night, but maybe the line of the night. Drew says he's the chosen one. He's this, he's that. Punk instantly, boom, catches that, interrupts him. Who chose you? What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
What paragod, I think is what he said. What paragod of good virtue chose you? The look on Drew's face.
He knew he couldn't say anything to that.
What
are you going to say to that?
He was like you got me.
You son of a bitch.
Damn.
Dude, talk about controversial.
The second Punk thought of that, because none of that was in this. I even saw like a thing on Twitter that was like, people were, when he said that, people were like, ugh, and then like, it was all fine.
I saw,
But just,
hey,
holy shit.
I mean, you're talking about about wrestling here. You're talking about kayfabe.
God damn.
I mean, that is true. In story,
who chose you?
Story,
what's his name? What paragod of virtue? Oh my god.
That's far. He went off there.
The second he thought of that, he was like,
and he was like, fuck it, I'm not keeping this in. He goes, I'm throwing this out there.
He definitely felt, obviously they're in Chicago. He felt good.
Good. 100%.
Maybe a little too good.
He had the crowd behind him.
Seth enters, joins Punk in the ring.
I wasn't expecting this. I thought this was just going to be a Punk Drew thing.
When
agree. Seth came out, I was like, oh shit, here we go.
Seth didn't say much, to be honest, at the beginning. He said that I don't think much of you. I don't think anything of you. I never think of you.
I think?
He said, you need me to have a moment at WrestleMania. Punk lists a bunch of things about the men, including Seth's wife. He says that I'm going to do... The quote was weird, but he basically said, I'm going to do what all of those things couldn't do for you two men, and I'm going to be on commentary, and I'm going to make you two interesting.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. And then Punk, whole time, they're teasing the special guest referee thing.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it sounds like...
It's like that's his counting arm, and he gets down and does it 1, 2, 3 with his
I didn't like that. I'll tell you now, I didn't like that.
He definitely was... That was definitely... it seemed like he was a little... just really trying to one-up him there. Like, he took the jab, and he was like, all right, I can one-up you.
Spoiler for the discussion point I want to have. He doesn't need to win everything.
No.
He doesn't need to... He's not in the match.
That was definitely a reactionary, like... He's like, I'm not letting him get the upper hand here.
We'll get back to that. But I didn't... There's a couple things that he said.
That felt like a little forced.
Great. He's in Chicago. It's his fucking spot. He's gonna feel on top. However... This is a promo for a match you're not in. Give someone the final word.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. Yeah, that was the one part where I was just like, that was unnecessary. Because it didn't ruin anything, but like it didn't.
He's not cleared, so he actually, unless I'm wrong, unless something whatever. But for all I know, he's not cleared, and he actually physically can't be a special guest referee. Right. So the fact that he even went like, "Oh yeah, watch this,"
because now it's like people are like, "Oh, he can be there."
Yeah, it's like that. It's like, okay, but like you actually can.
And then when when he says that, he's like, "Oh." I'll just do commentary. It's a letdown.
Yeah.
It's like, because obviously if you pick, what do you want to be on, commentary or the ref? 99.9% of people are going to say be a ref.
Because if you're going to be on commentary anyway, you can't take that line from Seth. Because Seth, it's true. Because you ended up on, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. That was forced for sure.
So yeah, he ends up, he's going to be, it sounds like pretty official. He's going to be on commentary unless there is some sort of swerve and unless I'm being duped here. Which, I mean, I'd love him to be a special guest referee. I think it'd be awesome.
That would have been fucking, that would have changed everything.
Drew steps in the ring. When Punk leaves. He's, you don't get the final word, and and then Seth super kicks Drew, hits him with a stomp. A rare moment where Drew is the one too distracted.
So yeah, CM Punk being added to the mix really changes everything.
It helped. They really found a way to do it in a really productive manner.
Because we all know this was supposed to be Punk Seth.
Right.
That's like, maybe Drew would have been whatever, but it was meant to be revolved around Punk Seth. So the fact they were able to include him here, I think it adds a whole lot to the match, the whole distraction, like you said.
That was my favorite part is like, this whole time Drew has been on Seth about like, you're too distracted. Once Drew's quote muse gets involved, now Drew's too distracted.
And you know what I hate that this thought entered my mind is that, so now that Punk's involved, he obviously hates both of them. How is he going to be involved in the result of it and stuff? Is he going to cost someone the match? Is he going to do this? And then Damian Priest.
Oh, it pops into my head every now and again.
What if CM Punk is the reason why Damian Priest cashes in on whoever wins?
I don't think that's a crazy thing.
Drew wins, right? Drew's in his face. I told you. Punk comes in, whatever. Or Damian comes down. Drew's distracted. Punk comes in, takes him out. Drew. I fucking do not want that. I think Drew McIntyre deserves to have his moment and stuff like that. But God, does that make that possibility more likely now that Punk's involved?
I'm curious what Punk's timeline is, because I mean that's an amazing way to kick off Drew versus Punk, because that really seems like the feud that's going to start when he comes back.
Yeah, I think they said it's 4 to 6 months. So he had surgery beginning of February. So right now he's probably around 2 months. Damn. So it'd be May, June, July. I think SummerSlam was when they were kind of like hoping, targeting. So probably like a month or so before SummerSlam, because SummerSlam would be 6 months. So 4 to 6 months.
Long-term storytelling. I'm with you. I would like it for the fact of like, it's a really good kickoff to Drew Punk, but damn, Drew.
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly, in the same sense as I just said, like it pops in my head every now and again, Damian. I also keep forgetting about it, and we talk about all this stuff, and then it's like, oh yeah, well, he could cash in it again. I say this every week. I'm in the camp. I think it would even help. Let's say Drew wins it, right? Drew wins the title. It's his moment. Not that he's a babyface, but it works. Damian comes in. Boo! People are all, oh my god, Drew finally had this moment. Drew beats him. Drew beats him. He beats him in front of Punk's face.
I'm fine with Damian losing the briefcase.
That's at this.
I mean, we're at a point right now where when he won it initially, I was like trying to defend it, being like, they'll build him up. Like, when that time comes, it'll be good. But like, bro.
And I don't even necessarily...
We're hot right now with Roman, Cody, whoever's walking out, even if it is still Roman, whatever, and then Drew, Seth. Like, if Drew wins, man, I don't want him to fucking lose the belt right away. Come on.
At this point...
He's just not on their levels right now.
It's like not even a Drew... it's not even a Damian thing either. Like, imagine if... Even if like LA Knight had it, or any of those other men in that match won it, I think they'd be in the same position.
They'd be lost in the shuffle, for sure. And also like...
At least like Damian is in a prominent faction where he can tout it and whatever.
But they just haven't really done much with it. That's all. That's the one thing Triple H, I mean, maybe not the only one thing, but like he hasn't been good with Money in the Bank since he's been in charge.
I've seen discussion of people being like, not do we get rid of it, but maybe it's
change the concept of it.
Change something about it, put it back on.
Don't get rid of it. I think it's Mania, a cool thing to have, but like, the last few have been duds for sure.
Something, maybe the timing of it, like. Which, not that it's that close to Mania, but I don't know. I don't know.
I loved it when it was at Mania. That was like a guaranteed like ladder match. People are gonna go crazy.
And then you always think like, are they gonna cash in that same night? Are they gonna,
Yeah.
But yeah, so here's I had a couple. We already kind of talked about it, but my couple notes of like, I put Punk he's obviously great, one of the best, if not the best on the mic. Obviously, I think being in Chicago got him a little too fired up. He doesn't. I don't think he needs to win it's a give and take. I think you can give Seth one or whatever. So some examples of that was the whole time when he's going back and forth with Drew, Punk is egging Drew on to get in the ring. He's like, "Come on, fight me!" Basically, like, "What are you, a pussy? I'm right." And Drew is playing it up enough where he's like, "I wish I could beat you up. I wish I could do this and whatever." And then says like, "We're in Chicago. You might have a weapon on you, whatever." And instead of just like taking that and let it go, Punk lays down in the ring.
Yeah.
It's like Drew can't get in the ring with you. Yeah. You're not cleared.
And not comparing it, but it's kind of like when he was in AEW and he had a promo with Hangman Adam Page, and he like called him out or whatever, and he knew he wasn't going to come out, but he was like, "See, that's some cowboy shit or something," like, oh, whatever.
I don't think it was to that degree.
No, not it wasn't to that degree.
Yeah.
I'm saying like in a way of like he's saying like knowing
he'll go into business for himself.
He's saying knowing Drew can't respond to that, can't do anything about. You know what I mean? Because like of course he's telling Drew to beat him up, but like Drew's not. And then he knows he's not going.
It's just gonna make Punk look good
and makes Drew look worse.
Yeah, and it's like. This isn't your match.
I agree.
Help the guys out.
I also think, and it still seems to me, because like since he's returned, I mean, he really hasn't been on TV much because like he got hurt at the Rumble. Since then, I still think he's just very much like still riding that high of like, I'm back in WWE. Sure. He's just super excited. Sure. So I think that also plays a part, because I can tell that he's like still like giddy when he shows up. Yeah. Even at Chicago or not, like whatever. So I try to give him the benefit, but you're right. It can be too much. It's like this feud isn't about him. Like you're involved with it now, but it's still not about you.
And sure, get your shit in, and you can even, again, you're in Chicago, so get your more be more on top for sure. But you gotta give something to someone.
Also, at the end of the day, you're CM Punk. Yeah, you're still gonna have that value. No,
you're CM
like
Punk
no one
in Chicago.
Seth Rollins and Drew aren't gonna take you down a notch in Chicago. It's just not happening.
Like you said, the referee count I thought was really, Seth is like, everyone's chanting for him to be the ref, and Punk is playing into it. And then Seth's like, well, I don't know if you saw, but that's your counting arm. Thinking that would be the end, we can move on to commentary. Nope, gets down, immediately. Counts 3 with the other arm. So it's like, well, you just told everyone now you can be the ref.
Right. So at that moment, people are like, oh, he's going to be the ref. Yeah.
This is a very smaller one. But Seth's like, you want to know what I think, Punk? Punk goes, nope.
Immediately, nope. Yeah.
Yes, and him.
Yeah.
This is improv 101. You got it. Fucking, and that threw him off. He couldn't bounce
that
off
line right there, I think, is the genuine dislike of each other.
This is why, like, that one's like,
see, that's why I don't mind that.
I didn't mind, because that was to less a degree.
Because that's real. Yeah. Because those are the types of things where I'm like, okay, like, oh, like, yes, they were like working with each other here, but okay, yeah, they definitely have a little disdain towards each other. That's what I got from that.
That one's just kind of another example, but it's to a less degree.
Because in how many promos is anything like that ever, where it's like you get those responses.
And granted, it is true. If they do hate each other and one guy says, you want to know what I think of you? You are going to be like, I don't give a shit. No. So like, I'm less on that one. But
I agree.
It reminded. I saw someone said this on Twitter, or it was not about this, but I got reminded of it. It's like when Cena was in a feud with someone and they'd give this big life story or this really good like back and forth whatever, and Cena would just go, good speech.
Yeah. It's like, all right, now it's my turn.
Just decimate, like him just saying good speech, just like flat.
Yeah, it was like him and Roman when they had their promo and Roman slipped up and like whatever. He goes, not a half decent promo. Let me take you down a few steps and show you who's the best. Yeah, it's so good. But yeah, no, I mean those little like,
so yeah, that was my whole
those
thing.
Little tidbits can be like, definitely be like, oh, like you didn't have to do that, but like the counting thing, the nope, like that right there to me is like, that's the realism. That's the hatred for each other. And he's just trying to get the upper hand. Does he have to do it? No, but
I would have, I don't know.
Just wait until we actually get Punk Seth. When we actually get that feud, my God, they're gonna,
all right, we got, what do we got? we're definitely cruising here. We're gonna run through the rest. I mean, the rest of SmackDown was good. Dominic distracts Rey to cost him his match against Santos.
Yep.
Looking like either a build to another Rey versus Dom at Mania match, or maybe Dom being with like the LDF.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think they should do Rey Dom again.
Mm-hmm.
The reasoning is because like it's father son. What build up do you need to it? But like we're a week away from Mania. Like if you were gonna do this, like it would have been nice if they started doing this like a month ago. Because people were like, if you're doing it again, it has to be a stipulation. Like you're not gonna do 1-on-1 again. So people are like, oh, it can be a retirement match for Rey.
No, I saw you going back for someone.
Because
Absolutely
it's
not.
like if Rey's retiring, you know it's gonna be like not a retirement tour, but it's not gonna be like a quick like, oh, he just came back last week, but his last match is in 2 weeks.
It's gotta be.
It won't be that.
It's gotta be to the level of like how Sting went out.
They'll hype it up. They'll like if it's a retirement match, like hair versus retirement, we'll just say they're gonna hype that up for a little bit because they're gonna be like, this could be Rey's last match. Like there's no hype to that if they announce that tomorrow night.
Do I dislike a retirement match being against Dom? No. Do I dislike it? No. That's correct.
I think they could do mask versus hair maybe. Like that makes more sense. Yeah. But then at the same time, it's like the build. It's there's not enough time here.
I would rather
the tag team match. I think is more likely.
I don't know why Dom's even involved. To be honest,
he just kind of popped up. I mean, he's in Judgment Day and in this. I don't know.
I was thinking it was gonna be Rey, Carlito, not Andrade,
Dragon Lee,
probably Dragon Lee versus like Santos and the LDF. It's like I don't know why they're just not doing something like that.
I thought maybe Rey and Escobar could have been a 1-on-1, but they had that. Well,
that's what I thought it was gonna be too. Yeah,
so
I don't know.
Like, oh, they're just throwing that on TV.
What's nice? Rey's getting a match at Mania. At the end of the day, that's all I care about.
He's getting a match, right?
And it would be, to give some credit to like a Rey versus Dom, is like it would be because Dom has improved so much since even last year's WrestleMania. It would be cool to see, and he's a totally different, like same character you could argue, but
hey, Dom needs to get his lick back.
So I don't know. It could. I don't know.
We'll see what happens. What I think about it. Yeah.
Theory and Waller defeat Gallows and Anderson to advance in the tag team tournament.
Awesome.
Io Sky defeats Naomi. Io's late to the ring. She's beating down Bayley backstage. Damage Control comes out to distract her in the match. Bianca shows up. Damage Control ends up standing tall. They can't fend him off. I do feel kind of bad about all of this as much criticism, not that we give it, but as much criticism as they do get of like, damn, Rock Cody went 40 minutes of the show and everything had to get cut short. We did spend an hour talking about it. And then now like everything else is kind of just
the title
like,
of the video, man. I mean, how could we not? Yeah, no, it does suck.
So the Io Bayley build is so good.
It is.
So I do feel bad, going over it as quickly as we are.
As much,
but this one I loved Io, be it like the three of them, Kairi, Dakota, Asuka coming out and whatever. Where's Io?
They're definitely doing a 3-on-3 match at Mania. It has to be Damage Control versus like Bianca, Naomi.
That'd be sick.
Jade Cargill is going to be on SmackDown. I
saw that. So I'm surprised because you heard it from me every week. I've been saying Raw after Mania. Right?
Yeah.
Not that she's wrestling yet.
Her being there makes me think that she'll be in a 3-on-3 match.
I don't
know how I feel. I mean, we're getting Bianca, Naomi, and Jade on the card, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But like, she's kind of just being thrown in the mix here. I also kind of feel bad for Bianca. I mean, this is like a big feud and stuff, but like Bianca's the type of person you think, gets a 1-on-1 and gets like a bigger kind of spotlight. I mean, it'll still be great, but
grain of salt is the card is already stuffed, the storyline's already in place, so like at least there's like, it's similar to like a Rey thing too, where it's at least they're going to be on the card. At least they're getting something,
Yeah, better than nothing.
Someone's got to be
better
in
than the pre-show.
Hopefully not pre-show.
I hope not.
Street Profits defeat Authors of Pain to advance in the tournament.
Talk about a pre-show match.
If I'm not mistaken, and I very well could be, is it Street Profits versus... What's the tournament looking like? I'm so confused.
I was gonna say Street Profits versus Theory Waller, or no, because
New Catch Republic.
They're in it, and then LWO, or no, not LWO,
LDF, I think.
So yeah, so two of those four.
So I think it's is it two of them because there's two brackets.
Well, we need two. Yeah, because we need two more teams to fill in. So
I guess
I'm going with Street Profits.
God, I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
I don't know what. I'm not even.
Fuck it. Whatever.
Oh fuck.
Put it in the comments. Who's going to be in the match?
I don't even want. We're gonna get it wrong, so I don't even want to speculate. Either way, I hope New Catch Republic and Street Profits are in the ladder.
I think those are
or one of the two.
Theory Waller, I would be interested in too.
Me too.
I
Me
think
too.
I'd be cool with that. But yeah, we'll see.
Especially if they need a heel team.
Right.
It's good choice. Okay, Rest of Raw. Like we said, Raw, one of the
Great
best
show.
Raws in a while.
Start to finish.
Loved this. Ricochet defeats JD McDonough in a banger that they ran back from their gauntlet match. They got a full fleshed out just singles match.
Ricochet, you could tell they took the training wheels off of him. They were like, go.
Another Puma reference.
Took him off the leash.
It seems like people are speculating a post-Mania Ricochet push, which we've been speculating every year.
Did you see the Pat McAfee Michael Cole clip when they made that line? It was like the footage on the. So it was like.
Oh, I don't think it was from this week. It was from last week.
Yeah, he said like something about the Puma. He goes, people underestimate how fast those things are. And then Michael Cole just loses it, and Pat McAfee like removes the mic and starts laughing. It's so stupid.
He said it inside. He was like, Ricochet, quick like a Puma. People forget. People underestimate how quickly they are. It's like
the door's locked. Let me get Sophie.
Oh shit. Okay. I'll kind of just keep going down here. Anyway, Ricochet hits JD with like a surprise Canadian destroyer. If they even call it, do they just call it a destroyer in WWE? I don't know. Hits JD with a huge poison Rana from the top rope. That was nuts. Really, really good match to start off the show.
So I tweeted something out where I said that Ricochet versus I thought this was Ricochet versus Neville at first because our JD was wearing all purple, which is what he wore.
Okay,
and people were like, oh, you still call him Neville? It's been years since he's been in WWE. I was like, no, I'm calling him Neville because that's what he wore when he was in WWE when he was called Neville. I'm like, that's why I said it.
That's my favorite part of the podcast is when we can, because I do it too. I'm not.
We can explain ourselves.
I was gonna say talk shit back, but I guess when we can say no, this is what I meant on Twitter.
You're wrong,
because I do it too, and it's my favorite part.
Good.
We go, you know what? I said this on Twitter, and I just want to say,
fuck you.
I've done that like 5 times.
That's so funny.
All right, we're gonna kind of go through these here. Candice LeRae continues her evil stretch, defeats Ivy Nile with a cheap roll up. Excited to see this kind of post-Mania. Candice LeRae, evil thing. Her and Indy Hartwell are doing a thing and blah, blah, blah. Cool, good stuff. Drew, which doesn't even need to be mentioned at this point, but Drew was seen talking with Paul Heyman in the background of a promo for the tag title ladder match. DIY versus New Day ends in a no contest when the Judgment Day come in to wreak havoc. This was great. It was an instance of the Judgment Day we haven't seen in a while, of them being like the faction and them wrecking shit and them whatever. The Miz jumps in from commentary to help. Truth says, hey, I'm not wrestling tonight. I'm not wrestling. I'm not supposed to wrestle. Anyway, Judgment Day stand tall. Disappointed we didn't get a full-fledged DIY versus New Day.
Sure.
However, I like what came of it.
Good step to the tag team match. Good step forward.
Andrade defeats Giovanni Vinci. Not much to say about this. Solid match. Excited for, again, it seems like between Ricochet, Candice LeRae, Andrade, throw Jade Cargill in there, we're looking at some good setup post-Mania.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You know? Yeah, there's a long list of superstars that should be getting a good push post-Mania.
Boom. Finally. Big face-to-face. Becky Rhea, finally, promo battle, stepping in the ring, bam. I thought this was great. Thought this was needed.
Yes, definitely.
Becky gets all emotional talking about her late father Becky gets emotional talking about her late father not being able to meet her daughter. Becky jokes that Rhea doesn't even wrestle anymore, which I think is a pretty good point.
Hey, it's
a pretty
true.
Good point.
She doesn't.
Rhea responds by saying, I can just post a picture or a video online and watch these freaks eat it up. So I don't need to be wrestling, which, history rings true.
Yep.
Rhea, this was the boom. Rhea mentions Becky's daughter by name, says she's going to call her mommy.
Becky goes off.
That set Becky off. She says, that is your one pass. Don't mention my daughter again, blah, blah, blah. The two, Becky ends up clocking Dom in the jaw. Good punch.
Good sell.
I would say took that for the slow-mo. Whenever they do a slow-mo of that, it's usually like, oh, she hit him hard. Let's do a slow-mo.
I love now they do like they draw on the screen and stuff like they like circled the jaw. She hit him right there.
It's mainly just Pat fucking drawing
I love
and
it.
shit.
So good.
This ended with a Becky and Rhea brawl. Big brawl, stops. Becky gets free again. Classic pull apart. This was great. Like I said, very needed for their build-up.
I agree.
Hot button issue. Bronson Reed defeats Sami Zayn clean before Sami's big Mania match.
Yeah, they're doing something with Sami right now, that's for sure.
Granted, Gunther comes out to put the pressure on, distraction. It was distraction enough, I guess, for Bronson Reed. Got the upper hand. And then backstage, Chad in this coach role that I don't love that Chad's in.
Yeah.
It's hyping up Sami and here's what you should do and blah. And Sami ultimately was kind of resisting it. Then ultimately he's like, you know what? You're just trying to help me. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's more of...
I'll just put it this way. If Gunther loses at Mania, I'll be shocked. I don't think...
I was pretty gung-ho about him losing. Not that I was like, he has to lose, but
not
like
anymore.
Before I was like, all right, he's had the reign. It's time for him to step up. Now...
I don't think Sami's the one to do
Sammy's
it.
not the one.
I just don't think so.
I can still see him doing it, but at this point, I hope Gunther retains for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Don't love, which everyone's saying this, but I don't love Sami just losing this.
Doesn't make sense. This close to Mania.
Bronson Reed
doesn't make sense.
What did Bronson Reed need this for?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It didn't need to be Sami could have won by like a thank God he won or like something or just like a haluva kick out of nowhere. Something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. To end the night, Jey Uso defeats Shinsuke Nakamura. My note here is Shinsuke is quickly becoming the new Dolph Ziggler in that he's one of the most talented on the roster, veteran, well-established person. But he's just the guy for all the baby faces to beat. I'm hoping Shinsuke's on that list for post-Mania.
Sure.
To have, granted, I liked his program with Cody. So it's not like they haven't been,
just put him in another big time program
and
like
let
that.
him win.
Let him win one. Let him get the upper hand in
a
feud here.
And then Cody and Seth come down to take out Jimmy and Solo. Drew lays out Seth with the Future Shock DDT, and then this all did lead into the Rock and Cody thing. So yeah, again, apologies if we kind of sped through that. Obviously, solid Dynamite last night. We're out of time.
Sorry.
I hate to tell you. Dynamite. I will say, I guess to give some sort of mention to it because it was a good show. Will fucking Ospreay and fucking Shibata.
Oh yeah. Huh?
Oh my
god. Swerving Takeshita.
Swerving Takeshita was great.
Number one contender now. Samoa Joe. It's Dynasty. Yep.
Yeah. Really, really good stuff. I mean, they're between the Will Ospreays, the Swerve, and then you have, they're leading up to Bryan Danielson, Will Ospreay at Dynasty, Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, I think Willow won the Fatal 4-Way match.
Willow won the Fatal 4-Way. So, because now it's, Willow.
Did she win?
Yeah, you're right. Because Willow's facing Julia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I think Mercedes is just watching. I don't really know what her involvement is.
I don't know, but Willow did win.
I thought she was gonna be in the match.
I think maybe she'll get the next crack at who wins that.
It would be cool. What I'm predicting is Willow beats Julia, and they kind of revisit Willow's Mercedes.
Yeah, they have history.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
that's my guess. When is
Dynasty? End of April. April 23rd?
It's looking like April 21st. It's looking like a good show.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, again, apologies to people that
Sorry, guys.
That always.
We only got so much time.
I know. This is a long. This is a
long.
We haven't hit an hour 30 in a minute.
Shout out to The Rock.
But that's our show. Thank you again to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's episode.
Yes, sir.
Follow us on everything. We got our big match against Stan Styles and the CWO this Saturday at Widowmaker Brewery in Braintree, Massachusetts. And we're gonna
be
beat them
wrestling.
up.
Yep.
We're gonna be wrestling. What else? Do we have any more stuff? Merch. Link in description. Shop.clutchpoints.com. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it as always. Thank you a million, and we'll see you all week for quizzes. We'll see you in the next episode. If you made it all the way this far, just give us a rating. Give us a something wherever you listen to this on.
We appreciate you.
And
until next time.
bye.
Peace.